If you've got a Tesla Model 3 long range or standard range in the UK, you've probably got Michelin tyres. That's what they come with as new. As long as you've got the 18-inch wheels, these are the 18-inch standard wheels without the aero covers, but with or without aeros, you've probably got Michelin tyres. And when you go to replace them, you might just go back to Michelin tyres again, the same as they originally come with. However, there's another option now, and Hankook have come up with this. Now in the same size, a Hankook Ventus Ion. So it's a tyre specifically for electric cars. To be honest, it probably comes a bit cheaper than the Michelin. So is it any good? Well, this is a car we run on the company here. It's a standard range. And as you can see from these front tyres, they are due for a change. So what a better chance than to put a set of these Hankooks on and see exactly how it compares. Now, I'll admit we don't have the most scientific environment. We can't do G-forces and sound test exactly the same conditions, same day, or two cars identical running at the same speed at the same time. That's a bit tricky to do. However, what we can do, we're very used to this car, we're very used to these tyres, so we'll do a few basic tests, but then we're going to get the tyre swaps over to these Hankooks, and then we'll tell you our opinion. Are they a suitable replacement at a slightly lower cost? They might be, they might not be. I'll let you know. So these are the old tyres, and you can see here, this is a good way to check your tyres. The tyres have a wear bar indicator along here, and they have them at stages. There's another one, and you can see here how tread is pretty much smooth, just a little bit above those wear bars, so time for a change here. So these Michelin Pilot Sport 4, TO rated, the original Tesla manufacturer's ones, they're pretty good tyres. We like a Michelin, they tend to perform pretty well, and they've always done a good job, so no qualms with the Michelins at all. And we find they tend to last, roughly speaking, about 25,000 miles from the cars we've had over the course of the last 4 years since the Model 3 has been in the UK. We've driven and had many of them, including the ones like this on fleet. Now, we didn't have these tyres since brand new, actually, so but we have run various models of these, so we can say that with the standard range or the long range, because they're both rear-wheel drive most of the time, the long range cars will use front-wheel drive as well, or four-wheel drive sometimes, but most of the time it's actually rear-wheel drive. It does help if about 12,000 miles you change your front set to the rear and so on, switch them around, do a tyre rotation, can help prolong life. And we tend to find we get about 25,000 miles out of them. It depends what you do and how you drive, of course. So we've seen some people go through tyres in 15,000 miles, some people go to 35,000 miles. Depends what you do and how you drive, but in the mid-20s seems to be quite normal for these. So they've been good, not a problem with the Michelins at all. So at no stage in this video I say anything bad. We've always had good performance from these. However, let's just check the specs differences. So there are a couple of small differences there. Okay, so Michelin Pilot Sport 4 TO. Now these are 235 45 018s 98Y. So the 235's width, the 45 is the profile, the 18 is the 18-inch wheel. 98 is the load rating, so they're both the same in that regard. And the Y is a speed rating. Now that means this tyre can go up to 186 miles per hour, or something like that. More than the car can do, basically. This Hankook here, let's bring this in here, Hankook Ventus Ions. This is the same, 235 45 018. 98, same, but W speed rating. So this is actually rated to a slightly slower speed, but still 168 miles an hour. And so still more than the car can do, so still absolutely fine for this purpose. Now, you see all our tyres here in the UK will have stickers like this, so I've been comparing that to the original Michelin ones here. So they've both got an efficiency rating, a B actually, not an A, a B. So that's both the same between them. The grip rating here on the Hankook's actually an A, whereas the Michelin is actually a B. So does this have more grip, especially in the wet? We'll find out potentially. And this is interesting. The sound rating on this is 71 decibels, whereas on this it's 69. So the Hankook is claiming a quieter tyre. Before we get started, let's put a little disclaimer in here. So Hankook provided us a set of tyres. They're not sponsoring this video, and they were very clear in saying to us, just tell us what you think. They value the feedback and they just want to know what we think of these tyres. So I can say they're really shit or they're really good, doesn't matter. And we're not being paid, and they haven't paid us to do this, but they did give us a set of tyres to test. So just to be clear about that. But as ever with the videos, I'm not being biased. That really doesn't matter to me. I will always say things as they are. You've got to be real in this kind of stuff. But there's your disclaimer. So in theory, one thing we should be able to compare going from one to the other almost straight away, we'll give the Hankooks a chance to bed in, is the noise. So familiar section of road we always use here, 30 miles an hour on cruise. Okay, again, so ready. There's a change in tarmac up here, so I'm going to get to 60. Ready? Okay, come on the standard range. There we are, 60. We'll do 30 miles now and then we brake as hard as we can. What about that? Yeah. Let's do the brake test on private land so we don't look like a hooligan on the streets. Should we use that line? See, there's that join, and then we'll now put a cone where we finish up. So there's that join. We'll brake from there at 30, and we can see. Well, at the moment we can see where we finish. Okay, I'm going to let Gintz drive this. Now, when you come into here, there's a line there which you can see when you're driving in the tarmac. And he's going to hit the brakes at 30 miles an hour. We've waited until everybody on our industrial estate's gone home, so there's nobody around here. We can come off the main road, which is 30 limit, into our private land along here, our own private test track, and then we're going to measure the stopping distances with these cones. I just didn't want to do it because I've just eaten something and I keep braking. I'll be sick or something. Okay, look, he's going to get his run up now. Let's see what he gets. Here he comes. I'm going to mark it, but you broke a little bit early, but you braked at the same time last time. So if you do that each time, then it'll be consistent. But you were about 1.5 feet before the line when you hit the brakes. I can see it. Okay, so here's the marker. Let's just bring that back a little bit. That's more like it. But you were just before the line again. But yeah, just before. A slight problem, the wind's blowing the cones away. Let's leave the stack. Right. I think the slow-mo is going to prove you brake just before the line, but you're exactly the same as before. So as long as you keep it consistent,
yeah, so it's consistent.
We're fine, yeah. Yeah, let's get a tape measure. What a splendid idea.
And it's 180, so 780.
780.
Yeah.
So we've done quite a few runs with it. you can see all the markings, right? So the car's basically stopping about here every time. So we've got some pretty consistent results. Just fractions of a difference on when you brake, it will make a difference, but we're getting some pretty consistent results now. Okay, here comes Serge, because I said this is more difficult than it looks to brake exactly. So yeah, it's pretty much the same result again. That was, do you know what, Serge? That wasn't bad. That was pretty accurate, wasn't it? He broke about the right time, yeah. So all good. So, but again, if you go back a bit now, Serge, you can see they're always finishing now consistently, sort of between here and here. We've got a pretty consistent set of results there. From 30 miles an hour there, like you're not even 2 car lengths.
Car and a half.
That's a car and a half, and it's stopping.
Yeah,
that's impressive, isn't it? Okay, 2 months later, over 3,300 miles on the Hankook tyres. Let's repeat the sound test. So this is going to be the 30 miles an hour, same car, same section of road, at the same speed. Let's see if these Hankooks are quieter. Are you ready, Gintz? 30 miles an hour on cruise control now. Okay, Hankook 60 miles an hour test. Let's bring it up to 60. Come on the standard range. Off we go then. It's going to be cruise control at 60 now. What about 30 miles an hour brake test? Gintz, ready? Oh, cat ran out. I've got sure.
That is better.
That seems to stop pretty good.
That.
I don't, I know, but the reaction last time was just as violent, to be honest, wasn't it? Can't do real scientific tests here, but let's try down the side of our warehouse, which is what we did before. Okay, the 30 miles an hour brake test. It is violent. It is violent. Right, I'll do one more for luck and then we'll get some measurements. So we're trying to be scientific about this. Kind of awkward because I'm coming off the 30 miles an hour road into the front of a unit. It's down between a gate, down between the side of some cars. But it's exactly the same bit of tarmac we used before. And there's a line in the tarmac, which is what I'm using as the start brake point. So let's try again. 30 miles an hour. Oh, that'll do for them. So here's our very scientific test zone for braking. I'm braking at that line there at 30 miles per hour. These three cones here are where the vehicle stopped on 3 occasions. So you can actually see the skid marks on the tarmac as the vehicle's come into the stop here. So we've taken the average stopping distance, and that was 7.14 meters. So not the most scientific number in the world, but 7.14. So if I put now, I can't remember what last time it was because it was 2 months ago. Let's put the previous measurement here and the new measurement here, and that's the difference. Which I don't know what it is, but what I can say is these Hankooks certainly have plenty of grip to them. No problem at all there. We haven't tried them in the wet, but we've used this car in the rain and they feel very good on the road, so no problems at all. Let's have a look. There's loads of meat on them. 3,300 miles in. That's how they're wearing. So of course one thing we can do is look at the efficiency. So here we go. Let's go to our trip data. This is it here, the new EV tyres. And we've now done 3,306 miles since we put these tyres on. And the average is 229 watt-hours per mile. Is that better or worse than before? Well, it's hard to say because ultimately it's been a different time of year. But as I have reiterated, we're very used to this car, and that is about the efficiency we get from this car. So on the Michelins, it was very similar. On these, it's very much the same. So nothing exactly scientific. Again, ideally we'd have 2 cars on 2 brand new sets of the different tyres and such like, but they're efficient. They don't seem to be notably worse, perhaps not even notably better, but good, efficient tyres. I mean, you've got to bear in mind that is nearly 4.5 miles per kilowatt hour. This is a 2019 Model 3 standard range pre-heat pump, and that's over the course of 3,300 miles. A bit of everything, motorway, commuting to work and all that kind of stuff. So good efficiency numbers, not bad at all. Right, let's wrap this one up.